it's Nikea here, and I'm here with a beginner friendly makeup tutorial for you all. So I think about this time last year I did a whole series of makeup 101 videos, and looking back at those videos were like really long and really detailed, and I thought about it, when someone is beginning with makeup, they just want something quick and easy and simple. So I'm going to come to you all with some quick, simple, easy tips and a quick, simple, easy look for beginners. I am a makeup artist, but by no means do I consider myself to be perfect. I'm still learning. There's things that I'm still trying and tweaking in makeup, and makeup is all about having fun, trying new things, and do what's best for you. Before we get into all of this, if you haven't already, just take one quick second, go down below, click that subscribe button, and once you do that, that bell notification button is gonna pop up. Click that so that you never miss an upload. Join the club. All right, y'all, let's get into this. The first tip I want to give beginners is to, one, have a good, strong, consistent skincare routine for your skin type. So I categorize myself as oily, so my skincare routine and my makeup routine is based off of that. If you are like me and you have oily skin, then go check out the video I'm going to card above. And I have some other skincare routine videos on my channel, but check those out if you do have oily skin like I do. But before I do, this is a good tool to have. So for beginners, I do suggest not having a lot of makeup brushes because you don't want to freak yourself out and you just want to build yourself up. And the only reason that most people have a lot of makeup brushes is because we're too lazy to actually wash them. But this is a good tool. I got this from BH Cosmetics in a brush set, and I'll actually link the brush set that I got from BH Cosmetics where this was in, because I think that would be a good brush set for beginners. But this is a dual-ended brush. It has the spoolie on one end and the angled brush on the other end. So everybody does their routine in different orders. I've changed up the order of my routine. My next step in my routine is to do my brows. So just brush your brows up, get all the hairs going in the same direction. And my tip for brows is you want to use a pencil as a beginner. I feel like a pencil for a beginner gives you more control. You can be more precise. On the top and bottom, I draw harsher lines, and then I fill in with short, light strokes to mimic hair, and just follow the natural shape of your brow using short strokes to clean the brow up. All right, once you have the shape of your brows, next what you're going to do is clean them up. So I take a thicker, creamier concealer. I actually use a foundation stick. I do like a thicker concealer because it gives you a sharper line. And underneath your brow, you use a color that's a little bit lighter. And then that excess product, as you saw, I'm just dragging that down to my lid because you're using this concealer as a multitasker, because it can also be a base. Once I have the bottom sculpted how I want it, I'm going to take this angled end. I've wiped it off. I just do a light stroke to blend it out, because when I draw it on, I don't draw it all the way to the length that I want, because I don't want it to be heavy at the front, because your brow is naturally lighter at the front. And I call this feathering out the head of the brow. And then I take the spoolie end and I just brush through the brow so that all the hairs are going up. And that also gets rid of excess product, and it gives it a more natural finish. And once that's done, I like to take a concealer that's closer to my skin tone. This one is from Black Radiance, and I'm using that lighter shade on the angle brush, and I'm just cleaning up the top of my brows. Again, nice short stroke, blend it up and out. The next step in my routine is eyeshadow. I've switched it up. I do my eyeshadow before I do my base. I know some people may be like, blaspheme, but I like those results better because I can kind of be free with my application and not worrying about messing up my base. What I have been doing is using a creamy concealer as an eyeshadow base. Whatever concealer you use, you can use that as an eye primer as well. But I have this concealer palette, and it offers you different shades, because the lighter shade that you use, the more your colors will pop on your lid, or you can just use something close to your complexion. You can use your finger to apply it, or you can use a brush. And I'm blending this all over my lid up to the crease so that my eyeshadow will have something to stick to, and this helps my eyeshadow not to crease throughout the day, because your eyelid naturally has folds in it, and this will help your eyeshadow to stay in place. The eyes can be daunting for people because you see people with cut creases and colors and glitter and blah 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 blah. My next tip is to start out with neutral or earth tones so that you can kind of build up, because neutral and earth tones really can work on any skin tone, any complexion. And then you can just take the same techniques that you use for earth tones and neutrals and transition them when you want to use colors. So I'm going to use this palette from Coastal Scents. They sell little hot pots and you can make your own palette. So I have some here. So if you're a beginner, stick with these colors. I would strongly suggest getting a transition color. So a transition color can be close to your skin tone or complexion. You can just use a powder foundation for that if you would like. But for me, I like my looks to be warm most of the time. So I will use this as a transition color. This is Oktoberfest from Coastal Scents. And then I would also suggest having a matte brown. Also a matte black is a staple. And then like I said, these shimmers right here. For your eyes, you really only need 2 brushes. You need a blending brush and you need a shadow brush. ItsmyRayeRaye has a brush set that's sold through BH Cosmetics. She collaborated with them and there's only 9 pieces. And essentially, you could just use just that. And I'll link that in the description box below as well. All right, so here is a flat eyeshadow brush. This one comes with the set. And then we have the 2 blending brushes. So this is a dual blending highlight brush, and this is an eye blending brush. The other set from BH Cosmetics I told you about comes with these large and small shader brushes, and then it also comes with 2 blending brushes. BH Cosmetics numbers their brushes and they tell you what that brush is used for. So if you are a beginner, it's very beginner friendly and very helpful. Now the brush I like to use, the type of brush I like to use for my transition shade is like a dome shaped blender, which is a little bit wider. This one is from Real Techniques, and I also have one from BH Cosmetics. So I'm going to go into my transition shade, which is Oktoberfest from Coastal Scents. It's a warm brown, orangey brown terracotta color. And your transition color, you're just going to apply this above your crease but below your brow bone. And you're going to use a nice windshield wiper motion back and forth, starting off with a little bit of product and then adding more if you want some more color. The next tip is to blend, 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 okay? When you think you are done blending, blend some more. Next thing for your eye looks, you want to start dark to light if you're going left to right, and if you're going from bottom to top, light to dark. So I usually do my eye looks right to left. So I'm going to start with my darker shade, and I'm using this fluffy blending brush. As you can see, I'm going to take a matte dark brown that I showed you here. It's called Deep Roast. So I'm putting it on my brush, tapping it in there, and then you'll see me tap like this. That just gets off the excess so you don't have fallout. So what I'm going to do is take that brush and I'm going to pat it on the outer V and then pat it into my crease, and then I'll start sweeping it in. And then I'm making sure that I get it on my lower lash line as well. So you're contouring that outer V and giving your eye shape. But I'm just showing you some general overall basics for eye looks. And now I'm just going back and forth. You see I'm just blending. So I'm gonna take that eyeshadow brush from ItsmyRayeRaye. So I'm gonna do this pinky rosy gold, which I feel like is a neutral tone, beginner friendly, called Cajun Craze. Wiping it on the brush like that. And this is a shimmer shade. So shimmers, you wanna stick to those on your lid because they highlight. So now with shimmers, what you wanna do is just pat, and I'm taking it to meet that deep roast color. You wanna pat first, because that gets it on there and allows it to stick to your shadow base, whatever you use. Then you can sweep it. See, pat, 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 it's up there. Now I can sweep it and spread it around. And then to go back with my blending brush, I'm gonna go into Deep Roast just a little bit and just blend that in with Cajun Craze. I'm also gonna go back into Oktoberfest just to bring a little bit of warmth back. So my tips for skin products, foundation, and complexion is to make sure that you choose primer and foundation for your skin type. For me, I have oily skin, I use a mattifying primer. Just see what works best for your skin. You may have to test some things out. Me, I also, sometimes I multi-prime just depending on how my skin is acting, because here I have pores and I may want to just blur my skin out, so I'll use a pore minimizing primer. But I also have this matte one, and this one typically works. You all can see, like, you see the shine where the ring light, you know, is there. I just like matte skin, okay? I just do. So with my primer, I put 4 dots on my face, smooth it out all over. And my T-zone is where I really tend to get oily. That's why I use a mattifying primer, because as you can see, you can't see the reflection of the ring light too much anymore in my forehead. I use Black Radiance. This is their Color Perfect Liquid Makeup, and it says it's good for all skin types. You can get this from Walmart or Target for about $4 or $5. And it is a good foundation. The next tip is with your color products, you want to make sure that it not only matches your complexion, but it matches your undertone. So I was using this foundation at first. It's from Black Radiance as well, and this is Mocha Honey, and I was using it for a long time, but recently I noticed that the undertones are like pinkish and a little pale, and I'm not pink undertones, I'm golden and more yellow. So that's why caramel is better for me. So I don't know if you all can see the difference. Like, they both could match my complexion, and I've made this one work, but this one just looks so much better. That goes for your concealers as well. Make sure your undertones are matching. So foundation you can apply with a sponge or a beauty blender like this, but I like to use a brush. I got this brush from BH Cosmetics from their Studio Pro set. So it's a flat top buffer brush, and that's what I like to use to apply my makeup. And another tip I have with matching your foundation, if you're going to match your foundation to your neck, then I think you should be fine. But if you're going to match it to your face and your neck may be a different complexion, you'll want to bring it down. My complexion is now even out, but you can still see my little moles and stuff. It looks like my skin. You want to choose a concealer that's a shade or two lighter, but you also want to make sure that it matches your undertones. And LA Girl Pro Concealers are the bomb. But what you want to do is highlight under your eyes in a triangle shape, and you want to lift it up. Don't bring it down too far on your chin, on your cheek, which I've probably done on this side, because you don't want to highlight that. You want to lift your cheeks up, because otherwise that's going to make your cheeks look droopy. And what I like to do is I let my concealer sit just for a little bit so that I can get that full coverage payoff. So that's why I like to apply it and then spread it out. I like to use a blending sponge. This is not a beauty blender, but you know, it's the same shape as the beauty blender, same concept. And I like for it to be damp, not wet, so you can squeeze it and no water comes out. So I've let my concealer sit for a little while. So what I'm going to do is pat underneath my eye, and all you're doing is bouncing this off your face. And you don't need to use a lot of product, because what you apply is going to spread. So what you're doing is just pressing this into the skin. Like, my face still looks highlighted, but it's not harsh. Now you want to set this in place because you don't want it to crease. So I'm going to take my banana powder. I also like to use the Black Radiance banana powder. So I'm just gonna take a little bit of banana powder. And what I did is I just put it on the back of this makeup palette so it doesn't make a mess. And I'm going to use that same damp beauty sponge, and I'm going to press it into the powder, blow some off, and then I'm going to press under my eye, right where I highlighted with the concealer, and I'm just going to press that into my skin. And I'm not going to let any bake. I'm just going to press it in, because my goal is just to set. I don't bake because it dries out my under eye, especially making sure to get right underneath your eye where you have those natural creases and folds. And then what I do, I also take some and I'll put it at the corners of my mouth, again pressing it in because that's where my face naturally wants to crease. And I'll do a little bit on my nose and on my forehead, because you know, those are my shiny areas. And then I'm just going to take a fluffy face brush. This one's from the ItsmyRayeRaye Brush collection, and I'm just going to brush up under my eyes just to get rid of any excess. So you can see it's still highlighted, but not looking too cray cray. All right, now you want to set the rest of your face. So you can use a translucent setting powder. You could also use this as well. Or you could use a complexion powder. I don't have any of mine on hand, but I do have this contour palette from Black Radiance. So I'm going to take another powder brush. This one is from Real Technique. It's a multitasking brush, so you could use this for multiple things. Real Techniques also has good brushes because, again, tells you what it's used for and they last for a long time. But I'm going to use this powder in the middle that says Sculpt, and I'm going to take that on the brush and I'm just going to press that on all the other areas of my face to set the foundation. And then also you could use this if you feel like you highlighted too much. You can go up underneath and just kind of tone it down just a little bit. So I like to press it into the skin and then I'll sweep over. Okay, we're going to finish the face now. So we are going to bronze / contour. So my beginner tip is, if you are bronzing or contouring, to use a powder, because I feel like powders are a little more workable and can be a little more forgiving than doing the cream or liquid type contouring. So this is my favorite contour brush to use. I got this from a like really cheap brush set in Ross. So like I have this True Complexion contour palette from Black Radiance, and you see this darker contour shade in here, and I'm just taking the brush in there just like this, getting product all over, tapping off any excess. And then you want to go into your cheeks. You see where your face is naturally darker right here. On me it's right here, like from your temple down to here. That's where you want to contour, and you just want to naturally contour. So what I like to do with this brush is to sweep up, lightly sweep. See, I'm just getting a nice light contour because you can always build up. And then I like to take it around to my temples, so here, and then sweep it down and almost a little bit on the cheek. You see? Ooh, yes. I'm feeling snatchery all up in here. Okay, you can get a little more product. If you want to minimize your forehead, you can do that, or even just bronze, because you know you bronze naturally on the outer portion of your face, you know, like a little glow. And then on your chin, jawline. But an easy way to remember your contour points is like a 3. So one, like the shape of a 3. You see that? And see, now you have a nice glow, bronze, and a little bit of contour to kind of give your face some definition. I feel like a lot of Black women may be afraid of blush, so you want to choose something that's natural. Okay, I would suggest going with a matte and looking at your skin, like when you blush or when you get flushed in the face, what colors do you see, and look for that when you go into the store. And like I said, I suggest mattes because they're just easier to work with. And this one right here is very subtle, and I feel like it can complement a lot of skin tones. This is Rosebud from Coastal Scents. It's a pinky mauvey color, but I have this whole like blush highlighter palette that I created from Coastal Scents, and I have this blush brush. This is from the Jasmine LaBelle, the same one as the contour. I just love a big fluffy brush for my blush. Ugh, say that 3 times fast. So you're just gonna take the brush in here, and this one would also be a good one. So you want something a little bit darker. That's called Bravado. And you're gonna smile, look for the apples of your cheek, and you're just going to apply it there and then sweep it up. And I kind of follow the shape of the contour just a little bit above it. I just like to take my blush up there. You don't have to. No. And now we're going to go to highlight. Gonna go back to that same Black Radiance palette. This highlighting brush from BH Cosmetics by ItsmyRayeRaye is my favorite brush. So there's a highlight in this palette here. I'm gonna get that on my brush, and I'm just gonna focus that on the high points of my cheek. And again, I'm kind of following the shape of the contour and the blush. Then I'm gonna do a little bit on the tip of my nose, a little bit there, and then in between my eyes on my nose, the center of my forehead, on my chin, and then we'll do some on the Cupid's bow. So the face is finished. Now we're just going to those last finishing touches on the eyes to complete this look. I will say for this next step, you do not need eyeliner for every look. but eyeliner just does something. So my tip for eyeliner is get you a pen, okay? A liquid liner type pen. It puts you in more control. With eyeliner, what you want to do is you want to do short strokes. So don't try to draw your liner just straight on and draw your wings just straight up. Do short strokes connecting the lines and it will come out. And it's going to take practice. And I do my makeup a lot and I do other people's makeup and I still don't have this wing liner down. So we're gonna go back into that deep rose color that we used on our lid. All right, I'm gonna take this shadow brush from ItsmyRayeRaye and put deep rose just on the tip of it. And I'm going to brush that on my lower lash line, like this. Then I'm gonna do a tiered up highlight. This color I used to keep in that palette, but it's from MAC. It's called Gorgeous Gold. I'm just gonna take this small shader brush from BH Cosmetic and I'm gonna put that on the inner tiered up. All right, last things last. So we are gonna put on lashes. So I like to use Duo Lash Glue and I have these lashes from Kiss. I actually wore these in my engagement photo shoot. This style is called Corset. So my tips for lashes are to prep them before you do them, and you want to let the glue dry down and get tacky before you apply them. And yes, this glue is white, but it dries clear. And sis, don't use hair glue to put your lashes on. You can choose to skip the eyelash step. If you do, we're gonna go to mascara. Wiggle the brush up from the lash line up to the tip of your lashes and then brush it out. And then I also like to go behind my lashes. And if you're going to wear falsies, I strongly suggest putting on mascara before you put the lashes on and not putting mascara on your falsies if you want them to last. And then of course you cannot forget about your bottom lashes. So with your bottom lashes, just be, you know, very careful, unless you just got some long, luxurious bottom lashes. So I kind of just wiggle the brush up there and then I'll go back. Oh, wow. This mascara really worked. I didn't have to do much. Sometimes you may have to go back with the tip of the wand. All right, so if you are not doing lashes, then this will be your last step. You want to get some setting spray. So a few inches from your face, close your eyes and just spray and have a moment. All right, for lashes, I don't use tweezers. I bend them a little bit like this to get them to like shape to my eye, and then I just hold them on both sides, the center place, and then lay them on the outside, and we can adjust from there. Get it as close to your lash line as possible. Again, it takes practice if you don't wear them every day or you never worn them. So I like to get them in place and then I'll kind of squish them together with my lashes to get them to, you know, blend together. All right, so this is a nice natural look. So I'm gonna use the same color pencil that I use to fill in my brows to line my lips. Press my lips together to smudge it out. Liquid lipstick. She has a lip gloss lipstick and this liquid lipstick, a nice pinky color. And see, I'm just blending it in with the liner. And then I'm taking this gloss called Lila. Just gonna place that on top. So this look is done, honey. Oh, but before I end the video, I want to give you this last final tip, which is the most important and that you must follow. If you don't listen to anything else that I said in this video, you must follow this tip. Have fun and make mistakes. That's my big tip. That is the last and final thing. Practice, learn, try new things. Makeup is just art. But that's it for today's video, beauties. Thank you so much for watching. But before you go, make sure you go down below and click that subscribe button. And right next to that, click that bell notification button so that you never miss when I post. Like I always say, it's free, it's easy, and it's fun. And shout out to Janelle, aka Maker of All Things Dope, on Instagram. She made these earrings and sent them to me, so make sure you go check her out. Again, thank you so much for watching, and I'll see you in the next one. Bye.